hypothesis does not predict this at all. Okay, the rings of both of these cannot be old. That the rings slowly deteriorate over time. And I think this is Uranus over on the left, and they've masked out and combined pictures such that you can see the ring right here and there. Once they mask out the planet, then reinsert it into the picture. For Neptune, we do have some banded structures there. We've got some weather, we got some clouds on it. It has a very large moon, Triton, which is, they did this simulation here of a view looking over Triton towards the planet. Well, Triton goes around Neptune backwards compared to the rotation of most of the solar system. It therefore has a retrograde orbit. In other words, it moves westward rather than eastward around the planet. Similarly, Saturn's moon of Phoebe and 4 of the smaller moons of Jupiter have retrograde orbits, all impossible under nebular theory. Nebular theory means everything should be rotating in the same direction. Here we got 5 moons that are going backwards, plus all this stuff with the axes being offset and tilted and so on. We also have a tremendous variety of moons. Here I've illustrated at the top Europa off Jupiter and Io. Io looks like a pizza with all this strange colors. It has a sulfur-dominated surface there with active volcanoes spewing out sulfur products. For Saturn, we have Phoebe, which is highly dented and very black, like an albedo of only 2% or something like that. Enceladus, very, very white at the other extreme. And here we got a cratered surface on part of it, but a very smooth surface, except for cracks, on the rest of it. And again, nebular theory does not predict anything like this. For Uranus, Miranda, look at that surface. It has a few craters, and then these strange, very strange markings, striations on the surface. That Neptune moon Triton, look at the surface right here. There's something very different about parts of the surface with respect to the rest. Again, nebular theory will not predict that at all. So I look at this and say the variety of moons is not predictable from nebular theory. It's as if God created this odd assemblage of bodies so that no natural theory of origin could match it. And he did this just to give his signature of creation. Yeah.
So what do they say, evolutionists?
They ignore the problem.
They don't talk about it.
No. They try to force fit everything into nebular theory, but it just doesn't work, and the discussion isn't there, as far as I know, anyway.
That's why we don't hear about it.
That's why you don't hear about it. They're not talking about it. Okay, let's go to our moon itself. That's really close, and they've been trying to figure out for years how did the moon get to be with the Earth. And there's no natural theory of lunar origin that works. And nebular theory, fission, in other words, the Earth and the moon broke apart, or capture, that the moon came from somewhere else. And the latest rage is that something around the size of Mars came by and hit the Earth, and that broke off a blob which became our moon. But the mechanics on that don't work either. And so one theoretician said the best theory for the moon is that the moon is simply an illusion. It isn't there. Because nothing else works. Okay. The moon is slowly receding from the Earth as a result of tidal friction and the conservation of angular momentum. So as the Earth rotation is slowing down due to friction, the Earth-Moon system has to maintain conservation of angular momentum, and that means that the Moon, to compensate, must go away from the Earth. And so working backwards on these theoretical laws, that the Moon would have to be, in the past, too close to the Earth. They talk about a Roche limit, whereby the something within that will just bust up into dust, sand, or whatever. And the Moon would be within this limit in a small fraction of the proposed 4.5 billion years of the Earth's supposed history. And even being closer, the erosive tides caused by the Moon would be enormous with a closer Moon. And geologically, we are not seeing that. So that is saying that the Earth-Moon system has to be very young, otherwise there would be tremendous destruction here. By the way, we've actually can measure the recession of the Moon because the astronauts landing on the Moon put up their retroreflectors, corner reflectors, such that we can shine laser beam at these devices, and there's several of them scattered around, and measure precisely with the laser beam through a telescope how far the Moon is from the Earth. Some people who doubt that the astronauts actually landed on the Moon, just a simple proof. Say, okay, those retroreflectors are up there. You shine a laser beam at it, you're going to get a bright return, and not from anywhere else on the Moon. So we definitely put them up there. Question in the back. Yeah.
Is that why they say that it's essentially the east-west, north-south pole?
Yes, it is tilted tremendously, and yeah, it could, with respect to the plane of the orbits of all the rest of the planets, it's like rolling on its side.
Okay. Another question, or actually two. Why do some people believe that the Moon was made by accretion?
It's just one of these natural theories, and that's the nebular hypothesis that all kinds of objects